Hey, hello everyone, welcome back to another Snap by Dan video. It's actually been a while since I've made a video, so I thought I'd come out with this one today, discussing my LMU wish list. I think it's quite an appropriate time given that LMU is now 1.0. It's supposed to be in its final state, so anything that comes from now will be fixes and extras. Personally, my wish list is quite short. I see people mention various things. Everyone's got their own different agenda, you know. Tell me what you think is priority. Do they need to make the game more stable? Do you feel like there's some content that's missing? You know, whatever. Just put whatever you want in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking, your thoughts, and your future wishes for the game. LMU is in a really good place right now. It took a while to get here, let's be honest. But many of us had faith that it would get here, and I'm glad I stuck with it. I'm really glad I put the money into it and took part in early access, encouraged other people to do so. It's come on from strength to strength, so big shout out to the devs for that, and long may it continue. Right now, my LMU wish list, let's get into it. Okay, so number one, and I don't think this will come as a surprise to many, I think a lot of you will agree, I would like to see regular team special events. Now, I understand that doing something too regularly takes away the exclusivity of it and the specialness of it, but I would like to see regular team events, whether that's every weekend or, I mean, ideally, I would like to see Studio 397 hand over control of team events to the public, and in that way, leagues and organisers can run team events whenever they want to whatever sort of spec they want to, whatever tracks they want to, etc. At the moment, it kind of feels like they're protecting driver swaps. I understand it needs testing, and that's fine. But it's been a long time coming, and basically what I'm saying is I hope they don't keep it guarded permanently. I would like to see team events, driver swap events become something we can all do for ourselves, and in an official capacity I'd like to see them weekly, much like we had with LFM. As you can see, special events at the moment are empty. I took part in the 6-hour Qatar event last week, and it was perfect. There were no issues at all. I understand there were some issues on the Friday that were quickly fixed, but the race I took part in on Saturday was seamless. It was brilliant fun, just great racing with friends, and yeah, I hope that that's brought them a lot closer to making this more of a regular thing for all of us. So the next thing I'd like to talk about really is data and statistics. This is something that I feel is sorely lacking in LMU. Maybe we've been a bit spoiled by other games and other sims, but for example, I'm going to kind of roll 2 points into one here. So in ACC we had fantastic insight into our best lap times in all different cars on different tracks. It gave us your average lap time, your absolute PB. I would like to see more of this in LMU. It really doesn't go into any depth at all. There's nothing about best laps. I don't know if this is something they're working on. I would hope so, given it's something I've seen talked about on their Discord for a long time now. And I don't think it's that difficult to implement. I really don't. And I think it's important to see your own development and growth, and it's fun to compare that stuff to your friends. And yeah, like I said, I want to roll this into another point, which is iRacing does a fantastic job showing you previous session results. So before you go into an event, say it's Tuesday, there's a new race available that you've not done before, but you want to see how people are performing, so you can try and get yourself up to speed in practice before you go into the event. I would like to be able to see it previous session results and compare myself to other people, know what I'm up against, and know where the bar is, and then it gives you something to aim for. It gives you a bar. So that's something that iRacing does really well. You can look at tons of previous sessions, all the splits for each session. You can compare. If you know your driver rank is bronze 3, like I am at the moment, you can find your rank split and compare yourself to them, see where they are and where you should be. I think that's really useful. And you don't want people coming into practice and just driving around aimlessly, or even worse, jumping into a race completely unprepared and treating qualifying or the opening of the race as practice. Ideally, you want people that take pride and interest in their performance, and they can work on it before entering races and possibly spoiling the experience for other people. What's interesting is we've got this statistics page on our profiles in the game. You can see a number of races, wins, podiums, blah blah blah, special events, championships. How hard is it to incorporate into this? Click on this, click on races, click, and it shows you all your races with your fastest lap. Or ACC does this perfectly. Let's take a look at ACC's way of doing it. So yeah, as you can see with ACC, you go into driver, look at your stats, and you get this amazing screen with every track in the game. And look how much it goes in to show you in detail. It shows you the number of laps driven, invalid and valid, number of races, the hours spent, shows you your total distance driven. Spa 15,800 kilometers, insane. But it's fascinating. This is the stuff we're talking about. A race is finished, wins, podiums. What else can we go into? Disqualifications even. Click on this number over here and you see your best lap. Best lap, Audi 2:17.4 Spa. Like, why can't they do this for LMU? They can. If they can do it for ACC, they can do it in LMU. They just have to have the will. And I think this is really interesting and important stuff, personally. And you can click on each circuit and get all this information, Amazing. I love it. Yep, that's that. Data, statistics, more the better. The next point I want to make, the next thing on my wish list even, is, you're going to laugh at this because it's such a cliche, such a repeated thing, but they're very quiet on this subject. It's amazing that we've got ELMS coming. I think that's going to add quite a bit of depth to the game, keep things fresh. But of course, IMSA, I would love to see IMSA content. We would have an amazing addition of cars and tracks, teams. The most important thing is the tracks. I think where this game is going to suffer in a year, 18 months time, is the track choices. What we've got is good, and the quality of the tracks is good. There's just enough there to keep things fresh by rotating them around. So let's just take a look at the 2025 season of IMSA. You've got, the Robs 424 Daytona, followed by Sebring, and then Long Beach, and then what track is that? Oh, of course, Laguna, Detroit, Watkins, Mosport, of course, followed by Road America, and then of course Petit Le Mans. Oh no, sorry, that's Virginia. We've seen Virginia. Indianapolis, and then Petit Le Mans at Road Atlanta. What an amazing roster of tracks. What depth that would add to the game, honestly. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 tracks. You're doubling the amount of tracks in the game. And I think IMSA and Studio 397 would be an amazing partnership. IMSA has one of the best social media teams. Their YouTube page, when they're streaming races, is fantastic. They're responsive, they're funny, they're on the ball, and I think that's a really good that'll be a really good tie-in with a game with Studio 397. It'd be a great partnership, so I would love to see it personally. But ultimately, I think IMSA would add a real depth to the game, and many of the tracks featured on IMSA are in R Factor 2. So where there's a will, there's a way, kind of thing. I know it's the official WEC game, but it seems to me that if they really wanted to, they could find a way of making it happen. And I'm sure maybe they do. Maybe there are barriers we don't know about. There's so many factors to consider when developing games. But yeah, ultimately I think this would really round off the game nicely, and just give the game real longevity. The next thing I want to talk about, I think is pretty obvious, is Group C. I know historic racing, a lot of people will say, oh, what a waste of time, the developers shouldn't spend their time on that, no one will use it. I kind of don't care. I just want to see. I think they've done an amazing job with the physics and the engine of LMU. Excuse me. They've done an amazing job, and I would love to see these amazing cars brought to LMU. I think it would be just amazing to drive them around in this engine. There's so many iconic cars, aren't there? There are lots that have never been represented in a game even. But yeah, I mean, you can drive these cars in AC original. AMS2 has some Group C, but not many. But ultimately, if LMU is your favourite game, you would still love to see this stuff brought into the game. Maybe this is something they could do before or after ELMS and ALMS, assuming that's going to come. This isn't priority. I'm not saying, hey, do this now, we need this, it's going to blast the game to like as popular as it can be. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I think I would love to see Group C in the game. That's it. I mean, what more needs to be said? Amazing era of racing and cars. Just amazing. My personal favourite, while we're on the subject, is the Toyota. Where are you? There we go. This gen 89C, 90C. Beautiful cars. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about on my wish list is, and I think this one's quite important to me, and probably other people too. I would like to be able to use custom liveries offline. I don't see why that isn't possible. These files can be stored locally somewhere. It doesn't cost them any storage costs or network costs for people to be able to use liveries offline. Find a way for us to do it, please, because, well, does it need explaining? We just want to see our liveries on track. If that means a custom race weekend or a practice session, doesn't matter really. Like, it's not going to hurt the devs, and it adds something to the game for us, the end user. Look at all these lovely custom liveries from my various teams that we can't actually use. There's no way to use these things unless you're registering for a race, an official race. So yeah, more opportunities to use our custom liveries. Find a way to take this offline. It must be possible. It has to be. And going back to ACC again, and liveries, talking about liveries, something that ACC does really well that I think LMU could learn from is give us a basic livery editor. That's it. It's all well and good being able to design elaborate liveries. I don't have 5 to 10 hours for livery designing. I've got kids. So can I just have a basic way to make my car stand out? Like, it would be really nice. It's a cool function that ACC does well. Let's just take a quick look at it if you're not familiar with it. I like the Audi. Let's go with the Audi. But look, add livery, choose the car you want, and you've got this, a simple screen. You've got some design templates, How many for the Audi? 10, 11, 11 for the Audi, right? And then you can just basically, you can put in your team name, you put your car number, you choose your nationality, your class, your cup, sponsors, all fairly straightforward stuff. It doesn't cost much in terms of install space for the game. You can change the colours, you know, I like yellow, I have a yellow car quite often. Gloss, matte, satin, metallic, chrome, clear chrome, glossy, back glossy. That's it. It doesn't need to be too crazy, but just something simple for us to quickly make our car look unique and stand out and to our taste. At the moment, it's like either a crazily long-winded process to make your own livery, or the factory included liveries. And this is the happy middle ground. Give people a. I understand you probably can't justify charging extra money for this, and it's nice for the devs to find ways to charge people money. It's profit in their pocket. I get that. I get why this is not attractive to LMU devs. They don't want people to be able to have custom liveries without earning more money from it. But that said, it's a nice feature. It's a bit of goodwill towards your player base. Allow us to have a basic livery. No? I don't think that's unfair. I think that's fairly reasonable. But yeah, each to their own. Let me know what you think about this one. Personally, I would love to see it. Next thing I want to talk about is this. The menu screens. There's no way to navigate the menu screen with the steering wheel. I know that LMU are controller friendly, keyboard friendly, whatever. The bulk of players are going to be playing this game on wheel and pedals. I would love to be able to navigate the menu without using the mouse. Although I've got my mouse over here, like it's an arm's length away, so it's quite annoying to have to stretch over every time I want to play around with the menus. Even now, making this video, I've got my mouse here on my lap, so that I don't have to reach over and do that. I just want to be able to. I've got all these buttons on my wheel. Let me map the buttons and the sticks to navigate the menu. Why can't I do that? This is basic stuff. This is, you know, it's 2025. We should be able to do this. Tell me if you agree. Is this important? Maybe not. It's quite low down on the wish list for me personally, but I know quite a few people have been very frustrated by it. I don't use VR, but imagine if you're racing in VR and you can't navigate the menus without using the mouse. That must be kind of annoying, man. So this is something I think they should focus on soon, if they're not already. Okay, so right at the bottom of my pile for my wish list is this. Can you guess what it is yet? Now, I don't know why this happens. Is it just hiding a load time or a lag in the menu? I'm not sure, but what I do know is it's annoying. I don't need to see this LMU splash screen every time I click a button on the menu. It's annoying. It's wasting my time. It's tedious. Please get rid of it. Just stop. If there's a couple of seconds delay while it goes to the next screen, fine. I'd rather just see the delay than that annoying thing. Anyone else agree with me on this, or maybe it's just me? In a similar vein, but not the same, but in a similar vein, here on the menu we've got an option to reset the FFB. This is a really important function because quite often you'll find that the FFB drops out in LMU, and you need to get it back quickly. Why can't we have an option to increase and decrease gain, FFB gain on the fly? And also, why isn't it specific to each car? I would like to see these things. You can do it in iRacing, you can do it in ACC. FFB should be specific to the car you're in because they all feel different, especially between classes, and you should be able to adjust it up and down in game. so that you can get a feel for how you want the car to feel. Even better, an auto FFP function for people that aren't quite sure where there's clipping and whatnot. Wouldn't it be nice just to press a button and it adjusts the FFP for you to an ideal level? These are some ideas I'd like to see them think about. I can't see any reason why we shouldn't be able to adjust FFP while in game. Okay, so another thing on my wish list is I'd like the ability to restrict who can enter a hosted lobby by safety rating. Now I understand and agree that safety rating shouldn't be affected by hosted races. That's fine. They're not official. They're unranked. Understandable. But that said, if I'm hosting a race, or if a league manager is hosting a race, you kind of want a way to restrict who can come in based on their safety rank. For obvious reasons. Does it need explaining? I don't think so. My friend Jeff, he would, when we were migrating over from ACC, he would host races. Quite often people would come in and just cause trouble for no reason, because they're not part of the community, and they could find they could find a password if they wanted to, or if there was no password, there's no barrier, so anyone could come in and cause problems. But it would be nice just to have the ability to restrict people who have, for example, a bronze safety rating, bronze 1, bronze 2, whatever. It should be up to the host. Ultimately, it's their race, their rules. So I would like to see that function added. And I guess in a similar vein, you should be able to restrict who can come in based on whatever criteria you want as a host. Driver ranks, safety rank. ACC used to have an interesting system where you had to gain stars for each track to sort of show that you had track knowledge. I think that was a good system. It stopped people joining who didn't know a track. They could just come in, learn the track in the race, smash into people, ruin a race. That shouldn't happen. You want people who are interested in what they're doing, passionate, and want to improve and not ruin other people's limited racing time. Right, I think that's it. I mean, I could go on all day really. There's so many things we could add to this game. I think it's got a really bright future. Ultimately, I do want to say I think they're doing a fantastic job, and I've said that from day one. I loved LMU. I thought it had so much potential, and it's been really fun and enjoyable to see that potential come to fruition. But that said, they've got a road ahead of them. They're still going. They've still got ideas. They just need to keep building on it, and these are some of my ideas. Whether they implement any of them or none of them, ultimately I've got no say in that. But yeah, I mean, I'd love to just hear your thoughts on it. Let me know what you think. What's your personal wish list? Give me your top 5 or maybe a couple. But for now, let's all just keep racing, keep enjoying, and keep supporting. Most importantly, join the LMU Discord, have your say, and yeah, keep racing. I'll see you guys in the next stream and next videos. Take care of yourselves. Remember to like and subscribe. Support my channel. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Take care, guys. Bye bye.